Sandy's Blasting Bronco is a brand new for 2020 coaster that is finally, yes, finally open at Nickelodeon Universe at American Dream in New Jersey. When Nick Universe first opened up, this coaster sat menacingly at the back of the park, tantalizing onlookers with what seemed like a unique and intense small footprint layout. Add some loose Spongebob Squarepants theming on top of that, and this ride had all the ingredients to be a standout attraction at the park. Now, we have had the privilege of being some of the first people to ever ride this coaster, and we're here to answer all of your questions, give this a review, and most importantly, answer if this ride was worth the wait. And I'm not gonna leave you hanging on this. I'm gonna come right out and say it. Sandy's Blasting Bronco is the best ride at Nickelodeon Universe. Manufactured by Intamin, Sandy's Blasting Bronco features 4 inversions and 2 launches in each ride cycle. The first one forward-facing and the second one backwards. These launches are both pretty spectacular, but the true standout is naturally that backwards launch. There really isn't a lot of room between the LSM launch track at the start of the first inversion, so when you take a seat in the front row, you might think, hey, we're probably not gonna pick up that much speed here. Then you hear the launch kick into action, and the next thing you know, your entire body is violently thrown back into your seat as you almost immediately pull some very, very intense positive G's. You go through the rest of the layout, come back into the station, and think, wait, wow, that was pretty crazy. And then you're hit with the big surprise of the ride, the turntable. Yes, halfway through the ride cycle on Sandy's, the train does a full 180-degree rotation and faces the complete opposite direction. Which means if you were in the front row, you're now in the back row. But you're not gonna take the ride backwards because the back row goes first. Anyways, this is probably the most forceful backwards launch I've ever experienced. And let me tell you, it will be the highlight of your ride. Since the entire train is now riding blind and with everyone's body in an unnatural riding position, the inversions feel even more aggressive. So much so that after my first ride on Sandy's, I needed a good 5-minute breather to prepare myself for some re-rides. All of that is really a good thing because this coaster delivers exactly what you want from a ride of this type. It's small, but it packs a punch. It's short, but it's the perfect length considering the intensity of the ride. And it's aggressive, but in a way that leaves you amped instead of in pain. In my mind, this model of coaster is destined to become the bigger, older brother of a Premier Skyrocket 2. It's got the same identifiably small layout and convention-breaking style, but it's far more intense and, in my mind, memorable. Considering the space Intamin had to work with here, this ride is a smash hit in almost every single category that I can think of. However, all of that being said, there are 3 negatives to this ride that I think are worth mentioning. The first one is a bit of a nitpick, the second one a missed opportunity, and the third one an improvement that Nick U and Intamin could make to send this ride way up in my rankings. Starting with the nitpick, I couldn't help but notice on all of my rides a significant rattle at the top of the layout, mainly on the transition between inversions. Granted, it's not necessarily unexpected given how intense and fast the ride is compared to its size, but for a brand new ride, it doesn't really feel like one. Second, for the missed opportunity, as much as I love SpongeBob, the theming on this is pretty loose. The trains are themed like Sandy's Rocket from the episode Sandy's Rocket, which is cool, but besides that and the entrance sign and the name, that's basically all you're gonna get. And lastly, here comes the improvement. This ride is begging for better implementation of the turntable. And don't get me wrong, the turntable runs fine and is an awesome part of the ride, but for me there are some very clear ways to make it better. First of all, the station should be enclosed. I know this kind of relates back to needing more theming, but having the turntable and station in an indoor type space would be far more disorienting and really aid the effect. And naturally, indoors, you'd allow that 180-degree turn to be a part of the ride experience as opposed to just a mechanical feature. And yes, you could also add some story and theming into the ride to help riders understand why you're suddenly about to go backwards. And now for my biggest gripe, and I'll give it to you in 2 words. Onboard audio. This ride needs onboard audio. It requires it, and here is why. I guess in the testing of this coaster, Nick Universe employees found out that most people assume once the ride goes through the layout once, the ride is over. They don't know it needs to go through the turntable, reset, and do the layout all over again. So in order to combat this, ride operators basically scream at the riders as they come back into the station for the first time, saying something along the lines of, "Ladies and gentlemen, the ride is not over. Please remain seated. Do not remove your seatbelt. Lift up your restraint, blah, blah, blah." Now, does this work? Sure. Is it an incredibly awkward break in what should otherwise be a cool transition in the ride? Absolutely. Some simple lines from Sandy and Patrick saying like, "Oh no, the rocket is breaking and we need to go backwards for some reason," would fix the issue almost instantly and add a layer of cohesion to the whole experience. So yes, add onboard audio. Do it. At the end of the day though, this ride is an all-around winner. I rode in just about every seat and had a great experience no matter where I was. It's compact, it's aggressive, it's intense, and it's unique. To me, this is the premier attraction in the park. Yes, even better than Shellraiser, and I really liked Shellraiser, so that's saying something. I give Sandy's Blasting Bronco an 8.5 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell thingy, and drop a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this ride if you've ridden it, or if you're excited to give it a go, or if you just want to say hi. What's going on? And as always, stay tuned for more videos here on the channel. I'm Adam from Theme Park Blitz, and I'll see you in the next video.